It's so beautiful out there in the middle of the night, I say, even when it's really hurting. Night running is magic. There's something very spiritual about ultras too. I sometimes have this little feeling near the end that I don't want it to end, although I'm happy it's ending. Then there's the people, the community. That's more than one sentence. Camaraderie, curiosity, and spirituality. Oh, and stupidity too, I say. That's definitely in there. That's a list. That's not a sentence. The topic changes. People have things to do. We go our separate ways. The surreal beauty of night running is what first pops into my mind. Zumbro, a hill of ice and rock to take bones and teeth. Pinholes of headlamps bobbing across a distant ridge. The crunch of snow covers mud, sand, steam, and when I stop, say it's to tie a shoe, the high-pitched songs of coyotes silence that owl who's been whispering, scratching my brain since midnight. Superior, stars so thick I could grab handfuls from that sky. So much heat, and this air blankets me, scrapes my skin and scalp. Water tumbles rocks far below, and bats flit through that setting moon, red as a burning ember. At Beaverhead, I wander down the mountain and through what I first think is a field of boulders that transform into cows, standing, bellowing, running from me. There's a lovely solitude that comes from being on the trail at night.
Do you mind talking a little bit about how this running relates to your sobriety and how maybe you came to that point or how they intersected?
Absolutely. How does the running is a big piece of my recovery. It's not something I depend on for my recovery. When I say recovery, I mean recovery from alcohol and drug abuse, or addiction rather. Running can't be the answer to my recovery because I'm gonna get injured, I'm gonna get hurt. The running might not always be there, but it is good therapy. And I find that at these races of ultra long distances, there are many people like me there. So I have many friends in recovery, I have many friends in long running. And then if you want to think of the Venn diagram, I have some really great friends of that place where those two things intersect. And there are tons of people where those two things intersect. It seems as if we talked about the question, what's wrong with you, that you would run 100 miles. I find that there is a lot of people who deal with mental illness, with addiction, eating disorder, that kind of those kind of things, drawn to that long running game, probably because it takes an obsessive type of mind, probably because you really have to get to know yourself. And here's something I think is interesting. Some people will say, oh, you're exchanging addictions. You know, you gave up booze, you picked up running. I ran through my last drunk. I know some people who like break their arms and keep running, or sprain their wrists and keep running, that kind of thing, get it looked at afterwards. But usually what stops people, it's all up here, it's their heads, it seems. You just see mental basket cases.
You see people crying? And I don't ask that because I got to tell you, I mean, to be that spent, we do it to a lot of people, I'd imagine.
You might see them crying, especially in the late night stuff. You know, I think 2, 3 a.m. is when you see some real messy, sloppy stuff. Yeah, you'll probably see people crying.
Sure.
You know, somebody like Lisa, who's at the aid station, might see that more than I would, where she's watching them work on people, you know, and so on.
Sure.
Whereas I'm just trying to move through there. I think that's where you're going to see the real stories play out, is the people who are trying to get, they pull into the pit stop, trying to get fixed enough to keep moving. Something about the toe socks can really reduce the amount of blister. Probably because my toes aren't rubbing against each other. Blisters are really just three things combined: heat, moisture, and friction. So we want to avoid as many of those things as we can.